It's about their technology.
Yes.
Who is writing the books?
Well, we get pockets of people who don't try localize those American. For instance, I have got some of our lecturers there in Chinyarokun and the rest of them. They don't localize that global information. They tried, but it's not institutional, which brings me to general education, institutional education. Make we talk about that.
About that one.
Yes.
You see, the general education is what happens when you are not in the four walls of an institution.
Yes.
Like you said, we had an offline discussion. People who are calling in, you are interfacing with them every day. That's a general education. Now, as you are interfacing with them, you are getting to know their various personalities and how their perspective of life. The way they react to issues.
Yes.
So as a broadcaster, you also have your template, you have your restrictions, you have your guidelines, you have your instructions. If something happens in this station, they will hold the station responsible, not me as a person.
True.
So that is a general education. Now, if you apply that, because the same thing applies to a country, the general education is the experience, is the compendium of knowledge that a nation acquires as it moves on that gradient of development. So as you go and you experience certain things, you learn. And as you learn, you adjust. As you adjust, you make progress. As you make progress, you make society better.
You add value.
So now let's particularize it. In 2023, we had an election. We had a technology that a lot of people felt this technology was a game changer because it will make everything so transparent. Right? Have we learned?
Big question.
Have we learned? Because like that, was it Kola that said that time?
Yes, Kola.
About the person, about
human
the people,
reforms.
the human. Now, you did that. And the beavers, just as a form of education, the beavers is a machine that captures your data, right? Thereafter, it captures the Form ECA that was filled and upload. It's a very simple process.
Which is why people accepted that this would make a lot of difference.
Now, after election, we started hearing all kinds of things. Oh, we couldn't upload. Oh, this, that, it will take. And I'm asking myself, are we learning? Because if you do a banking transaction, as much as we talk about failure of banking transactions sometimes, 90% of those transactions go through, if not more. True or false? They go through.
Yes, they do.
They go through. How many people do you actually see? When we say that so many people at the banking sector, how many people do you actually see there? Maybe 100 people a day. Take Abuja, for instance. We have maybe 4 million, 5 million people, and most of them have bank accounts. Have you seen a bank where you have 200 people, 300, 500 or 1,000 people? So what are we saying? For each of the departments of our life as a country, we have the general education. So you can take agriculture. When I hear people say, oh, the young people should go to the farms. The young people are not meant to go to the farm in 2023. That is not their place.
But then, where is their place? Where's the place of the young people?
Their place is to make things greater for the society, to tackle more challenges, tougher challenges. We started from our parents, right? Using hoe and cutlass to do farming, right? When other countries were moving from that into mechanized farming, we still remained, right? Then how many years later, the food that you and I eat today is not from mechanized farming. It's still from the artisanal farmers. The same thing applies to the fish that you eat. Is from artisanal fishermen. So the question is, what have we learned in over, okay, let's say go back to 1960 that we got our independence. So what did we learn in agriculture?
All this while.
All this while. We started from a cocoa pyramid, rice pyramid, granite pyramid, all kinds of pyramids.
Yes. Okay.
So what did we learn?
Okay, now talk about learning. Make we come down to institutional learning, our institutions, our schools,
right,
from primary to secondary to tertiary. Now you don't scratch small about tertiary. You talk about the dichotomy, polytechnic, university,
right,
discrimination.
Yeah.
But make we go back to primary, secondary education.
Very good.
We get situation where we get corpers, now them be teachers. It can't be like a normal level. If you go most secondary schools, the teachers, are they really trained are they really trained educationists, academicians? Are they trained from primary to secondary? Because we now, many people now, they focus on this particular matter, focus on university curriculum and all of that. But before you go to university, you go primary school and secondary school.
Let me ask you a question. The way and manner you speak today, where did you learn it from?
This question too.
No, now jump question. The way and manner you speak today, where did you learn it from?
You know, well, I don't know how it goes. Now many na collection of many things. But
let me tell you the truth.
Yes.
Ask anybody today.
Yes.
Interview anybody today. The way they speak is mainly from the primary and secondary school.
Secondary. I agree.
That is where it came from.
I agree.
So once you don't know how to talk at primary and secondary school level, university will not change you. Because that's not what university is for. So educationists understand, and they have established that the most crucial education in the life of an individual is primary school. In fact, some have even extended it to the pre-primary school, what we call otakara.
Yeah.
Here. And
crutch.
Why? Because the brain developed very fast in the first few years of your life.
True that.
And so, because of that interesting, how do I call it now, period, that is the period where a lot of things happened to the individual, where his absorptive capacity is the highest. That is why if you have a child today and you travel to England, in 3 months, that child will start speaking like an English person.
True.
Whereas you still doing batin.
Yes. Even in the same England, you still speak your
normal Hausa, Igbo. So the child, because he has that absorptive. So what that means is that our curriculum at that primary, and secondary should be sound. Let me tell you what's going on in America today.
Wow.
Today, Americans are having problems with mathematics. Yes, at secondary school level. So you have countries in Europe, you have China, you have Japan, students beating American students in mathematics. Why? Because something went wrong with that particular segment of education in America. Now, you can't say the same thing for university education, because the top universities in the world are from America, are in America. So, but because they didn't pay attention to one particular thing, which is what they call the STEM, they are now saying, oh, wait a minute, we need to go back to look at our mathematics at secondary school level. So that tells you. So why the emphasis on university education? Does it pay us with all this emphasis on university education? It doesn't. So, like we said before, the 633 system that we introduced, we couldn't run with it. Because if we had run with it, by now, it would have been paying off.
It would have been paying off.
Yes.
All right. Now, make we start today talk about way forward, because this whole book or this whole curriculum presentation and the book in honor of the minister who didn't present for Abuja on Tuesday is supposedly all about the progress of the education sector. Waiting, because this minister now, this curriculum when they present now, in the on the way out.
When you get to the office, you go just dump her somewhere. He don't move.
He's on his way out. So what is the way forward? I don't want to totally agree that this particular thing or move when he make not the way to go. And I don't want to dismiss it either. But I want to ask you that what will be the way to go for the incoming minister?
Two things when this minister just do now. The other one was mother tongue. I remember Mena called me here.
Yes.
Came to talk about it.
We did that. Mother tongue, introducing mother tongue in education.
See, we cannot reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. What you do is to run with the wheel. That is why they do this saying that don't reinvent the wheel. What is it that works? What is it that works? So if you look at the way forward now, my brother, you know what they call sometimes you go buy a house.
Yes.
After buying the house, you discover that it's better for you to demolish the house and rebuild. Because if you enter that house will collapse
on you.
Let me say it blank. The education system we are running right now, with or without curriculum, is not going to serve us. It has not served us for 60-something years. It has not worked. The reason it has not worked because it's not properly set. So we need to bring down the structure. And it's not going to start with curriculum.
What is it going to start?
First of all,
yes,
you ask the question, who is training your little ones?
Valid. Coppers and secondary school SSC holders.
If you go to Takara, who is training them?
They're not specialists.
They're not specialists.
Secondary school.
Some self, I know in my village, people who did not even go to secondary school, they were teaching Otakara.
But the big question now, what did they teach?
What did they teach? A, B, C, D, and all kinds of trash. And anybody can learn that.
ABC.
But
ABC
you see,
didn't be trash.
But wait now. You see, it is a system.
Yes.
And the system has processes. You see, we in Africa we play too much. You see, the way they talk to you now, somebody go fit take and do his PhD. The way I'm engaging you right now, somebody can do a PhD from there. How do you engage a radio presenter? So, and the reason is because everything in life is scientific. So education itself, you know, say education that they talk and say it's not be science. Education is education. Then there's science. Science is physics, chemistry. That's just stupid.
Education should be scientific.
Everything in life is science.
Because scientific ensures that the scientific process of inquiry ensures the thing where you find out they correct.
That when you start this process, you know, when you do experiment, you say if you do this, this is what you are going to get.
Exactly.
So we have never sat down to say this education that we are dealing with now. What is the what is it that we as a country is going to get out of this education? We have never addressed that problem. So then we cannot say, okay, for primary school education, this is the minimum requirement we need to be a teacher.
We never do that thing.
We have not done that.
Actually,
everybody goes into the secondary school to teach. If I want to go to, if you want to go to and teach now, you are not trained to be a teacher.
True.
Actually, but you can go to a place now and become a teacher.
And become a teacher and become the head teacher.
Yes.
Even without
and become the principal.
Without the requisite training. So, but then, if we talk about this whole thing, there's also the question of the trained, qualified teachers. We go teachers college or college of education where their field, their hustle. How well? It's just like doctors now. They drag the doctors. They talk about strike. Is it enticing enough? In about 2 days, we would hear for UK. They invite our teachers come that side. If I don't know what I go do, then bring them come this side. We want to show them something. But then, How about the remuneration, the welfare, how enticing is the job? How about the welfare of the teacher?
Don't go too far.
Yes.
You asked me a question.
Yes.
Those that are called professional teachers.
Yes.
What kind of educational system did they pass through?
True.
Is it not the same educational system that you and I passed through? In my school in those days, like you said, some of our best teachers were HSC and white holders.
Yes.
We had a sprinkle of graduates. If we see them that time, a big deal. Most of them were NYC. People were serving, were doing their service.
Youth service. Yes.
That's the only thing that exposed us to graduates. So now, when those teachers also went through the same process that is not sound, then what do you expect them to give to those people who how many people who are in education today are writing books? And guess what? When they write these books, are these books adopted by the school systems?
Are they encouraged to write more? Because they should write. Because this question is how many people, the system, you learn with books, you learn from books. If you are a teacher, you're an academician, you should be able to write books.
The primary school self and the secondary school, they're still a little bit better.
Yes.
Than the universities. At the primary school level, you still see a lot of local books. But some of them, when I look at them, I just laugh. You know, you don't see that seriousness in the curriculum. You know, let me tell you a story. Before I started having children,
Yes.
before my wife started having, I started buying books. And my wife said, "What is the problem with you?" And I was buying primary and secondary books. And let me tell you,
children,
for my children,
for your unborn,
for my unborn children then. And now let me tell you what the system those people use in writing books. You see, what you have in the universities, they break it down to secondary school level. So they have those books for secondary school. Then what you have in the secondary school, they break it further down and have it at the primary school level. So at the primary school level, you already actually been exposed to what you will find
in the university,
in the secondary school level and the university level. So that way, you are not out of place, you are not out of water, you are not out of knowledge when you move from primary to secondary school level. At secondary level, you're already familiar. You're already familiar with the basics. So that is why when you go back today, you see it wasn't only recently that we started improving. Mass failure in mathematics, mass failure in English. And those are the two key subjects as far as we know in Nigeria. They are considered to be
major.
Yes. So why did it take us so long? What is the big deal about mathematics that people are failing? It is not because those students are dumb. It's because, like my daughter said something to me one day, that we teach like these subjects are out there in space. There's no, we do not bring the subjects to life. We do not,
like it's an abstract thing. They talk to like say, what you go use for this life.
And to tell you the truth,
I think we gonna need to go the newsroom, Safil. No vex. You know, it depends each time I want to cut you, but we got enter newsroom in the next news that go pass. You know, highest 3-4 minutes.
That's okay,
because we're going to 9:30. Now 9:30 we'll go end this conversation.
Okay, very good.
9:30, and then we'll go open the phone lines if we come back, so that make we hear from you too. This one at the big talk, I get the great Safil. Interesting, always interesting to get conversation with her. We talk about the education sector. We talk about the Ministry of Education. We talk about the systems and all of that. Make we go to the newsroom, come back. We'll tie them up. We'll go hear from you. And we'll go talk some more. This is not the big talk, Citizen FM. And they come back. My name, not the Chief Priest. Don't touch him. No, it's okay.
The issues.
Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Who cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime? Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umoite on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Talk to us on 93.7 Citizen FM.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM Abuja.
The time is 9 o'clock.
Time for news on the hour.
Good morning and welcome to the news at 9. I am Deborah Innocent. President-elect Bola Tinubu has promised to hit the ground running and unify the country upon his assumption of office come May 29. Tinubu further pledged to work to ensure continued positive relations with the United States as to build on the gains of the partnership between both nations. The president-elect stated this in a telephone conversation with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. According to a communique by his spokesman Tunde Rahman, the former Lagos State governor said his immediate priorities as president would be to deliver institutional reforms and development programs to deepen democratic institutions and bring help to poor and vulnerable Nigerians. He also expressed his determination to strengthen Nigeria's democracy and faithfully serve the people as their president. Governor of Anambra, Charles Soludo, has condemned the attack on the convoy of the United States Consulate on a humanitarian mission in the state. In a state, a convoy conveying officials of the U.S. Consulate was on Tuesday attacked by gunmen in a Ogbaru local government area of the state. According to a statement by Christian Aburume, Chief Press Secretary to the governor, Soludo described the incident as a heinous and unprovoked attack. He said the government has over the past year worked towards ensuring the safety of residents in the state. The chairman of the Kwara Football Association, Malam Idris Musa, has inaugurated the electoral and appeals committees ahead of the state's FA board election, tentatively slated for June 13 in Kaima, the headquarters of Kaima local government area of the state. Inaugurating the committees on Wednesday in Ilorin, Musa said that the event was in line with the Nigerian Football Federation statutes and charged them to discharge their duties according to the guidelines. In their acceptance speeches, the chairman of electoral and appeal committees, Chief Emmanuel Obafemi and Alhaji Jimo Kehinde, respectively, commended the leadership of Kwara FA for giving them the opportunity to serve, pledging to conduct free and fair elections that will usher in the new chairman and board members. The chairman, who alluded to the process as a very tasking one, assured contestants of peaceful conduct of the elections and hitch-free exercise that all would be proud of by the football stakeholders in the state. And that's the Citizen FM News on the hour. Good morning.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa!
All right, no time, no day to check time. 4 minutes. Don't take skipping rope. Take a skip. Come out from where 9 o'clock day this morning. Today, 2023, Super Citizen at sunrise on top of the radio. Citizen FM 93.7 for Abuja. Check us for www.citizenfm.ng. They call me the chief priest. I talk about the way forward. We they talk about where we they come from, where we they go. We they at the verge of transition. The two government one exchange button. Make we know how it will take be. Now, talking about the way forward, the great Safil. Make we talk. Welcome back, by the way.
Yeah.
But make we talk about linking, because if you go school finish, the reason you're going to read medicine is so you can treat people and save lives. The reason you are going to read anything is so you can practice one way or another. Make we waiting with the link. How do we link waiting you read for school and the actual bringing of the value, the equivalent value to the table? How?
Even before you get to practice,
yes,
whatever you have learnt.
Yes.
I don't know when you did school. When you do all those trigonometry, calculus, quadratic equation.
Yes.
Make I ask you, did you feel anything like, okay, this is going to be useful for me, or this is actually useful for me?
In all honesty, I don't really some of those things.
You were just going through the process
because I have to. I had
because you had to. But that is not the way education is run. And that is why a lot of people do not see the importance or cannot feel what they are learning in school, because there is no attempt to link what they are learning with real life. Let me give you an example. There's a book I just finished reading. They said The Great Mathematical Failures. And what were they talking about? They were talking about structures around the world that had major crisis. And what was why did these structures why did they have this crisis? Because of minor errors in mathematical calculation. That was why huge bridges, people felt this bridge can never failed. You remember that big ship? Remember, what's the name now? Titanic. When they said this is unsinkable.
He said the guy even said something many people consider as blasphemous. Blasphemous. They say even God can't see. That was how sure he was.
Right. But what was the problem? It was a mathematical error. Calculation. So if we need to move forward, we need to bring society to match education. If somebody is studying mathematics at the primary school level, arithmetic, 1 + 1, 2 + 2, it's just a process. Can you make that person understand that the car he's looking at that brought him or her to school, the bicycle that he rides when he gets home, they are all product of mathematics? This biro that you are looking at now, you are just looking at it like it is a biro, but it's a product of mathematics because it has length. It has width, right? Now, if you are going to manufacture it, the machine that will manufacture it, for it to work well, it must take that length.
Yes, the measurement, the diameter of that,
Now, the universe itself is all about mathematics. Everything you see in the universe is all about mathematics. And let me tell you something. I was reading a book on mathematics, and the guy said, don't take mathematics as just numbers. He said numbers have life.
Wow.
Yes. And he proved it. And I saw that it is true. These numbers that you see, they have their own life. They have a way of connecting to each other. So I can give you a set of figure today, and I will tell you, if you escalate this figure to so point, this is what you will get.
Yes, and it's certain.
And it is certain. That is why somebody sat down here on Earth, not here in Nigeria, in Greece, and calculated that there was a particular meteor that they saw then, and he said in 1985, based on his calculation, that meteor is going to come back. We're going to see that meteor again around the Earth's environment. And 100 years back before then. So what are we saying? If we must move forward, we must bring our education to meet with real life. The only people that I see who are really very, very, very close to that are the doctors.
How so?
You see, when you train as a doctor, you already face almost the life situation. That is why you see they train with cadavers.
Yes.
They do clinical studies. They go to hospitals. You have the consultant moving around. They tell you, okay, look at this patient. Look at the symptoms. Look at the medication. What do you think? So the doctors are already doing that. If you do mass communication, you are supposed to be doing your broadcasting right in school.
In school, yes.
Right?
Some schools get the campus radio.
So what that means is that everything you learn in school should have a strong tie to what you are going to practice. We have seen when we were in school, we had people who were reading mechanical engineering, who were reading let me just use computer science. Then at Ekpoma, we had one small lab, computer lab, just a couple of computers there. Now, those people who were reading computer science, when they want to do their project, they would write the project, they will give it to the people in the lab to run the thing for them.
Yes.
They are not allowed to even go into the lab to do their own thing.
It happens because even in our cheap
because they have very limited number of that is not studying.
In fact, in some schools you pay the people in that you pay
so
them
that they
something.
will help you.
They will help you. And then it's almost like an unspoken, it's compulsory, but it's not said that they won't tell you it's compulsory, but by the time you try, you begin the process, you go see some, if you don't give these people this money, nothing for you.
Now I went to Auchi. I wanted to go to Auchi Polytechnic.
Yes.
So I went there. So I saw if you look at their labs then, way back when they started.
I can imagine.
If you go to the mechanical engineering department, you enter the lab, you will see all kinds of gadgets there. So the man who is studying mechanical engineering is actually practicing
in school.
So when it comes out, every society does. Let me give you another example. In the height of the COVID, and I mentioned this before, they came up with a vaccine. And trust Africans, they say, this thing when just come now, how they take get vaccine? Be like say, now they even bring this thing on. But that was according to their knowledge. But there's a book I read, way back, 20 years, 30 years ago, for any epidemic. But let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is, how do we administer the vaccine such that it will actually tackle the problem? Studied this thing for a number of years, and they had arrived at how you can administer vaccines. They arrived at what is the best method to come up with a vaccine. You know, the vaccine is a simplified form of the virus itself. How do you get the virus? How do you synthesize? That's the word they use. How do you synthesize the virus? That is understanding the component of that virus and use the weapon that the virus uses against the virus. That is learning. That is close to the market. That is learning that is in the industrial place. That is learning that is in the center of the economy. So, to answer your question, If we need education that will serve us, we need to go back and demolish this empire that we have built that is not serving us. Give the curriculum to the university. Number one, let me even ask you, I can almost swear on my name right now, if you go to that Minister of Education now and ask whether the university professors were part of this curriculum, you'll be shocked. I can almost say for a certainty that they were not part of the curriculum.
The same curriculum they will
be working with. So how do you just sit down in the Ministry of Education, for instance, and just come up with a new curriculum? Now, let me ask you, when this thing was launched, how many the leader of ASU, was he there? Were the university community members there? Because that will give you a signal that they were part of the process. I don't know what happened at that ceremony, but it was more of the book on the minister and whatever that was launched. So were they part of it? No. So when you give it to them, my brother, I need you to go to the universities right now. I have people in the universities. You and I, we went to the universities. We know the process. The lecturers, that's another thing that we need to pay attention to. When people who are to impact knowledge are frustrated, how do you expect them to impact knowledge? When people who are expected to impact knowledge are not guarded by certain moral standards, how do you expect that they will deliver? A situation where a lecturer sees a student as a competitor,
as a prey,
a threat sometimes.
It's a prey sometimes.
If you are very sharp here, lecturer will begin to look at you like,
no, you get some lecturers who go say, you will never get an A. A is for me.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter what kind of language.
What is
that?
The meaning of that?
So you go see exceptional students. They will still give them, say, you can never have A. You don't know it all.
So
who says he doesn't know?
Who says
they try learn? You they tell them beforehand from day one.
So you can
never. What is it? You're already putting a threshold, a limit.
Let me give you an example of what happened when I was in school. There was a lecturer who came from the US. He was taking us public administration, which we took as a what do we call it now?
GNS, general. Elective courses.
Elective course.
Yes.
Beautiful teacher, and the guy was giving us the grades. Do you know what happened? Hey, God, may have mercy. Some lecturer went to tell, he said, "No, boy, they give grade like that, too. They give grade like that, too. You are just dashing these people grade." But he wasn't dashing us.
You worked for a grade.
He taught us very well. We were very comfortable with his style of teaching. And we were encouraged to do our own reading, and we're giving it to him. And in return, he was rewarding us based on what we have done. Do you know how this thing affected this lecturer? By the second year, the man started changing.
Because they will victimize him. They will victimize him.
So that is the kind of attitude you have, and that attitude has not changed. As much as president of what do we call them, ASU will talk. There is so much rot in the university system. I'm not talking about lecturers trying to sleep with women or
which
whatever.
is also rot.
That is not the rot we are talking about. I'm talking about academic rot. That teachers who are paid to teach are not teaching. They are sabotaging their own process. When you graduate, they tell you that they give you your certificate based on two things: academic achievement and character.
Character and
right.
Learning.
So they are not just building you to be
a bookworm.
They are teaching you to be a balanced human being, so that when you graduate, there is a difference between you and the person that did not go to the university. There should be a measurable difference
in your manner, your mannerisms, how
now,
you live.
Let me tell you my experience last week.
Yes.
I was invited to come and speak to coppers at a parade ground. When I was going, my kid, she's my special advisor, she told me, "Daddy, let me tell you what to expect." She gave me.
She has gone through.
Yeah, she has gone through.
The
So
NYC.
let me tell you what to expect. And she gave me blah 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 blah. As soon as I got to the site, all the things that she told me, they started playing out. We were to start at 11, and I told the guy, listen, my time is very precious. I am going to come before 11. By 11, please have your people ready. Because once I come, I will start. I had a 10-page presentation to make to tell them about opportunities coming in the energy sector. When I got there, they were rowdy, they were writing names, whatever. And I asked the guy, what's going on? He says they are a clearance date. I said, why would you even fix something that you think is important on a clearance day when the attention is how to clear and I know as a former copper, to clear yourself is very important. So that was one problem. Then, to start, I told them, I said, are we just going to talk or are we going to engage ourselves? No response. I said,
that's from the copper.
From the copper, no response. I said, I understand that you belong to a club, the Echo Club. What does that mean? Can somebody volunteer to tell me what it means? No response. Do you know what I did? The 10-page presentation I prepared, I just cover them. I say, when I told them I had the 10-page presentation, they said, meaning that you 10 pages.
You see that,
which means that they were not even receptive to acquiring new knowledge. I told them, this man that you are meeting today, you may never meet in life again. Some of you may never meet me again. So this 40 minutes I'm going to spend with you might just be the only time we will ever interface with ourselves in our whole life.
So we come back to the question of, as funny as it sounds, we call it human reforms, where you yourself don't mention.
Yes.
Because from the students to the teachers to the system, and everything keeps recycling, because now these same corpus now go grow. Some of them go become directors for Ministry of Education, so they will become lecturers, and they with that same mindset they chunk out the same kind of people. The cycle goes on and on. But how do we break the cycle?
But it's a cycle, and I'm glad that you mentioned the word cycle, because those that will do the reform themselves, they need reform. If you understand what I mean. It is the government anywhere in the world. It is the government that drives reform. So the government is the big principal that says this is what we want to do and this is how we're going to do it. Now, when that person himself needs a reform, that is just to tell you how big the problem is. So if the president-elect wants to change Nigeria for good, he will start with his own government. How does he want to set up his government? Once I see how he sets up his government,
and probably the people in the government,
it will tell me whether he has imbibed that reform. He don't take that pill.
Where you say, let's expect institutional reforms, including the educational sector. So, who the Minister of Education will be?
Who the minister will tell us. And the attitude of the president-elect himself
towards education.
Does he understand what education means in development? It's just like the Minister of Power. Does he really understand? Did Buhari understand, President Buhari, did he understand the effect of the energy sector on Nigeria?
Before he picked
the ministers
of power.
Because if that does not happen, my brother, you can go to sleep. That in the next 4 years, we'll waste our time. So let us watch from 29th when he delivers his first speech. That is the day we will start his what do we call that? His meter will start running. Yes, will start running. So what will he say about the different sectors? The institutional reform that he wants to do, what exactly are those reforms? Because as somebody said, we have some of the best master plans in the world. Our libraries are filled with master plans. But master plans are like books. If I leave this book on top of this table for the next 1 year, it will remain there. It will not move, no matter what brilliant ideas are in the book. So we are not devoid. We are not starving of ideas. We are not starving of plans.
Yes.
What we are starving of is movement from plans to execution. And we have said that repeatedly over the years.
And it takes human will.
It takes human will, gigantic will to do it.
All right. Make I take... I beg reduce the volume of the radio first of all, then make we talk this thing before we go round up this morning. Who did here?
Okay, good morning.
Morning to you there. Who did talk? Enechejo from Nyanya. Quickly, make we hear you sharply.
I just want to greet your guest.
Yes, the great Safi.
A very good morning to you, madam.
In fact, I greet him very well. These are the people it's difficult to fix them in Nigeria for Nigeria to move forward. If I'm in the position to fix this Nigeria, this man will not escape me. Because we need some talented people that our country will become great.
So you can suggest him to the president-elect?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enechejo. All right, so maybe our next Minister of Information, the great Safil, you're going to help us to break policies of government down for TV and radio. So maybe, I don't know whether you get that idea.
You see, there is in governance, it's like a cult.
Yes.
It's like a cult.
Wow.
And it's like that all over the world.
So you need to belong.
So you need to belong somewhere. Sometimes it is not your smartness that determines whether you are picked. It's not your smartness. There are very dumb people who find themselves in governance. I told you of somebody who was engaged as minister, as a education, whatever, and he was saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" And he was calling people all over the place. So you wonder, how was he picked in the first place?
How was he picked?
My brother,
in the panic,
that selection process
is important.
It's important,
and we go stand. They observe right now another chance to select again.
You have seen the selection process has started though, because they are picking who will head the two major institutions of the Congress, National Assembly,
the legislature.
These are the people that will make the laws. We have started selecting. Are you watching? Are you seeing the body language? Are you seeing what they are doing?
The lobbying.
Are they looking for competence?
Now we see that lobbying too at the executive level.
Yes.
18 current, that headline hit me. 18 current ministers.
Yes.
When I get mine for this current government, still want the minister again.
Get mind.
When I get mine though,
they get mind well. But you see, to them it is a job. To them it's a source of living. It's not about building Nigeria or living a better Nigeria. They don't really care. Most of the guys don't care about that. That is why they talk all this stuff they are talking, which doesn't make sense to a lot of Nigerians.
We go back our things come out, but before we come out, Safil, 20 seconds because we get about 1 minute or less than 2 minutes to go. 20 seconds, Safil, just drop that one last punchline for who want here, make it here. Quickly.
Let us live to the full extent of our capacity.
Punchline indeed.
That's it.
Let us live. I say one last punchline. This one are 2 in 1 because he said, let us live to the full extent of our capacity. Number one, what be your capacity? What you fit to do? What do you get? Then live to the fullest. Thank you so much, Safi. You know they disappoint. They always honored to get you for inside of the studio. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, so this one now here we go tie the whole matter. We go wrap them up on top of the big talk and on top of Super Citizen at sunrise this morning on top of the radio. This now still Citizen FM 9:30 and a time for sunny side of sports. Then 10 o'clock, the big dawn. Lawrence Umwete. You go want to know about some of the things where they sub on top inside 10 o'clock. No touch of radio. Lawrence Umwete go day here. You go bring that one copy of the mod. My name is Chief Priest. They call me Ezemmuo One, Oracle of the Citizens. I go join you again tomorrow on a Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is tomorrow is you know why tomorrow will be Friday. Now open mic. So all the things where they your chest for this week carry come. Make we pieces some on top table like suya. Make we pick them one by one with toothpick. They call me Ezemmuo One. Anything way they do, come on hand.